So if you'd watched my previous video, we were going to be covering G-Chimera this video, which is exactly what we're doing. With the addition of a Grey Mysteria Dragoon, other than boosting Mysteria cards, it's also got a couple of really decent cheap spell effects, so it definitely has a place in a G-Chimera deck, especially since it is also a ward, which bodes pretty well in these kind of decks, being able to stall your opponent. So this deck's a lot of fun to play for me. I actually always enjoyed G-Chimera decks. I wasn't a big fan of D-Shift, but at the same time I was quite a fan of Daria, so this is kind of a middle ground for me, I guess, and Truce Adjudication is just a lot of fun. I mean, the odds of it hitting face is pretty reasonable, so it's definitely a respectable card and definitely a decent one to play. So let's get right into this and check it out. And our first matchup is going to be against Blood. No shocker there. So kicking us right off, of course, with Blood is going to be fairly fun, and we start off with what I probably consider one of the better hands you can actually have. Insight into Magic Missile, both draw cards and spell boosting Fate's Hand is going to be extremely solid, and actually set us up for a Fate's Hand on 3 if we don't end up with a better card to play. So we don't really have much else to play though. Luckily for that G-Chimera, that was a pretty good draw early on. That's one of the cards you want to focus on. And Mysterian Knowledge, oh, that's really good. That means we can actually play the Mysterian Knowledge regardless of what happens here. So straight into that Mysterian Knowledge. So now Fate's Hand is now down to 1. Definitely beneficial. Although, since we are going first, we do have a more rough time, so we've definitely got to search for some cards here. Absolute Zeroblade, not a bad option. I mean, it is some removal and it is going to continue to spell boost us, but not like we had many choices. So the only problem with this deck I found is whether I want to use Grey with its effect or whether I want to just play Magic Owl. That's usually where I run into an issue. Magic Owl I usually favour, mainly because I have a better spell boost. Sometimes Grey is okay, but definitely Magic Owl. Especially when we have 3 G-Chimeras now, we're actually going to have a pretty insane late game. We just need to hold off and get there, which shouldn't be impossible. We've got a fairly decent hand to do this. So Seraphic Blade deals with Vera almost perfectly. It's really not going to be an issue. And they do use the Razory as a cleanup tool, which is pretty good for us. So we can go for an extra Magic Owl and our Seraphic Blade. Can't really play anything else though, which is a little disappointing. But I mean, to spell boost everything in our hand by 2, excluding, 2 cards, is fairly decent. Servant of Lust, and what else? Ooh, Badness revealed. Definitely looking for that Florist pull, no surprise there. Not really a problem though, we're looking for big burst damage, so we're not really too worried about their total health right now. And Wind Blast is going to be a perfect pickup for that. Now we just pretty much remove their entire board to buy us some time. Turn 8 we'll be looking at Cagliostra anyway. And if it's not Cagliostra, we could just also play Grey, I guess. Although Grey would be pretty useless on its own at the moment, so definitely the Cagliostra play. So we're going to be able to wipe this board, keep our Cagliostra up, and force them to have to remove it. And we've kept ourselves at a good health total. Really making it hard on our opponent here. So even if they were looking for a Dark Feast Bat to finish this off, they're just not going to have that damage. But they definitely are searching for whatever they can get now. Double Disciple of Lust, Wings of Lust, okay. I believe our G-Chimera right now is at a really insane amount of damage. I believe it's 19 damage on that, so we're only going to be 2 off. Yeah, 19 on the G-Chimera. If only we could have got that one more, plus, of course, not having a thing on their board. Dark Feast Bat, trying its best, only able to get 12 damage. Not enough to finish this off, and our G-Chimeras are still well and truly boosted enough to finish this out, giving us 12 damage to their face while clearing the board. Now, for our second matchup, we're going up against Eris. We are going second, which isn't the worst situation to be in, if you can get an early evo on something. So this matchup was a little closer as we didn't get a early Giant Chimera, so definitely going to be a more interesting match, but I did decide to mulligan everything looking for some more early game cards. Unfortunately, didn't get that lucky. I mean, the Mysterian Knowledge and the Truth Adjudication is nice, but that's about it. And our couple of draws weren't bad. I mean, Wind Blast and Magic Missile are both good cards. Fortunately, they did go for the Holy Lion, which means our Magic Missile is now not quite as good. So definitely went for the Mysterian. Mysterian Missile, boosting everything at least that we can. This time though, Peace Weaver. Another card I have to deal with. At least we did get Insight this time, giving us another little draw. So we're just going to take out whatever we can. They are definitely a Holy Lion build, so definitely something to watch out for. But we should be pretty set up to take these out. The only problem we really had now was turn 4 was pretty lackluster, not a lot we could have done. At least turn 5 looks to be an improvement, even if only slightly. So that's definitely an impressive board. We are lucky we do have the Fiery Embraces. They're going to do a pretty nice job of clearing these up. And we also got a Seraphic Blade. So now we have a way to deal with some potential threats. Either of White Wing, not a shock at all. Like I said, luckily we had those Fiery Embraces, or this would be a lot harder. We probably wouldn't have been able to deal with this, but fortunately for us, we did end up with some decent cards. So, using our cards to the best of our abilities now, just to kind of wipe out whatever we can here. Buy ourselves some time. Godsworn Elixir. Definitely going to put us in a rough spot. So, now we got Cagliostra. So, fortunately for us, Cagliostra plus a boosted Wind Blast is going to pretty much wipe this out. I was also trying to get as much as I could draw-wise to try and look for Giant Chimeras, but we weren't that lucky. At least we have the Truth Adjudication. Not so lucky though, they're padding even more wards, meaning they do get their effects to go off. And they get to clear this, so definitely a rough time. Ars Manga though, doing a good job. I'm basically just going for the spell boost now. And I decided to Seraphic Blade, so we don't have to worry about that in the future, as our Truth Adjudication would be pretty lackluster if they removed it that easily. At least now it's not going to be something they can easily remove. And I decided to go for the Magic Owl. It does give us some nice boosts up here. And gives us a free Fate's Hand, so whatever we draw, hopefully we'll have a better advantage. And since I couldn't do much else, I decided to just develop our board. Of course, Seraphic Blade, not a fun time. And Prism Swing, doing a wonderful job for them. This time though, all I can really do is, again, buy some time. This time, our Truth Adjudication, probably going with the lesser of the two, since they are going to lose their amulets next turn. Giving us a little bit of an edge. And we are limited to 4 damage at max with an amulet on board. Which, I mean, isn't bad. Another Seraphic Blade. They've only got 2 points left though, and they are using it on the Holy Lion Crystal, which means they can't clear this 4-2. They did end up conceding, probably expecting me to have Giant Chimera. Fortunately, Truth Adjudication, I reckon, would have cleaned that up anyway. I mean, there was certainly going to be the chance that the Truth Adjudication wasn't going to be able to clean up that game, but we had it severely boosted, so the fact that they did concede didn't make a huge difference. I think we probably still would have won, and if we didn't win that turn, we probably would have won the next one, so it definitely wouldn't have been super rough, but hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I have a lot of fun with these kind of decks, hopefully you do too. You'll find the deck list in the description below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Until next time, see ya.